There comes a time where everything has its end. We have a time where the space race found a conclusion with the reaching of the moon. We live in a time where perhaps the denial of global warming will end with the acceptance of the damage that's been caused to the world. Likewise, we're going to end this Let's Play with me fighting Apocalypse by spamming forward B, attack, send wind out. Alright, there's maybe a little more to that. Hope you enjoy!